This podcast is powered by The Plug.
Welcome to the Besos Jules podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me. First off, it's great to be here. Great to meet so many new people, so many new characters have been unlocked in my life. So, solid day already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have some community values. That's nice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to butcher an intro.
Okay.
Would you mind introducing yourself to the listeners, to give them a little background, who you are, what you like to do, and how you wound up here at the Arvada Center for the show?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Teej Morgan Arzola. I am born and raised in the Box State, specifically Mile High City. Shout out to Denver. Love my city. And yeah, I've been an actor for a pretty long time. I feel, it feels weird to say that because I'm still like 21. So I don't really know how long that really is. But I'm also a filmmaker. I major in film and television. I'm earning a BFA at CU Denver right now. I'm a junior. So we're almost there. But I always, keep coming back to acting because I feel as if, that's my forte and, that's what I really love it. Just, simple as that. I started local theater at Benchmark Theater in Octoroon, and then Jeffrey Kent, the director for our town, saw me, hit me up. I auditioned and I'm here now. So It all worked out.
Wow. That's quite a story. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, felicidades. Are you Latino?
Yes.
Okay. Will you talk a little bit about your relationship with your culture and what it means to be Latino today, or in the film community or the acting community?
Yeah. My mom's side, she's from Mexico, so the Tamaulipas. It's like right next to the border. So my grandma, she was a pretty smart and strong woman, and I always love her. My abuelita Oli, she would cross the border sometimes to have her kids born in America, so then they wouldn't have to go through all those like hurdles of citizenship. So my mom was actually like born in El Paso, Texas, but essentially my background is Mexican and my dad's side's white, but just growing up, being biracial, and then also like feeling too white for like this group or too brown for this group. But I'm kind of like chill with it now. Like, it is what it is. I know who I am. I know I'm more than my race. And at the end of the day, I'm here to make art. And at the same time, with the films I make, I like to value Latino culture and have social commentary about Latino issues.
That's phenomenal. También tengo raíces del norte de México. So I also have roots from the north of Mexico, and
Nice.
El Paso is where my great-grandma, who I'm named after, was from, and then through San Diego. So that's really cool. I wasn't expecting that to have that commonality. That's wonderful. And my dad's super white also. So
No, for sure. That's
great. No, you brought up a really important point. There's this dicho or saying, ni de aquí, ni de allá. And this feeling that like you're not from here or there. And the culture surrounding borderlands is very unique. I studied Chicano studies at Metro that, looks at the literature surrounding these borderland cultures. And so how do you feel that younger people, we don't have that much of a age difference, but I feel like I'm very lucky that my friends are like much older. I feel very privileged in that. But, let's talk about Gen Z. Mm-hmm. How do you feel that they relate to their culture? And I guess in the acting world, what does that look like?
That's a good question. I think it starts with the fact that I feel as if there's more opportunities, for BIPOC individuals, at least in this industry. At least, I feel as if that's the goal now, or at least that's what we're seeing more of. Obviously, it's not perfect, and the bottom line is, we can't just settle for the bare minimum of just like representation. We have to have good representation, and I think that's why our town is also really great to be a part of as a person of color, because, I always talk about this, and one of the junior thesis I'm working on is, yes, we're getting more representation, but, you find it to be too similar because a lot of the Black and brown stories are about, our trauma and like being oppressed. And yes, that, adversity is a part of, the culture, especially here in the United States, but it is not our entire identity. So I think, prioritizing, expressing our culture, expressing, our morality should be more of a priority than just simply, oh, here's another story about, this brown person going through something. You know what I mean? So our town is, more inclusive with that, because it's about a whole town and about no matter, race, gender, we're all homies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
When it comes to community, it sounds like that was a strong theme within the show.
Right.
On a personal level, what does community mean to you? No, I'd like to go back, actually. Yeah. I want to go back to the point that you brought up about trauma and how a lot of the stories can be very, like, myopic and just displaying the really tough. And I think there's an element of, like, trauma porn that happens, right? And so if we think of porn as something that objectifies the experience or the existence of one group, it's almost like there's too much of it. There's too much trauma-centered media that's coming out. And I think whenever something is brought to the forefront for the first time, we kind of have this, we start at one end of the spectrum, and then there will probably be a pendulum swing. And then, ultimately the goal, I think, is to find ourselves in terms of representation in the middle of seeing BIPOC joy, seeing BIPOC love. What does that look like? Right. But also simultaneously acknowledging the trauma and the pain that many of our communities experience. But resilience is at the heart of it, right? It's like you need both.
No, absolutely. I think like my most recent example, and it's just the Academy Awards, because again, like, I love film, but I think it was last year, like, there's like no like Latin people like nominated at all, and then this year, Bardo, if you've seen it, Alejandro Inarritu, he is, he's my favorite director. Bardo was like my favorite film of the year, and it had such great social commentary and motifs around also being biracial, but also like belonging to the two countries. And I thought it was amazing. And then I was upset. I was a little salty that I didn't get nominated. So again, you talk about, what's Gen Z doing. I feel as if we share similar goals. I think we just, slowly but surely take it one step at a time, and it'll get better and better and better representation. And I mean, good representation, right? As we've talked about. And I think that should be a priority.
Do you think Gen Z has an easier time discussing such topics than other generations, than past generations?
I would say for me, I don't really know, honestly. I feel like that's a case by case, but I can definitely say with my experience, with my friends, who are also, biracial, who are also people of color, I think it is a little bit easier for us talking to each other, you know what I mean, in our like cliques. I feel as if there's a lot that we can relate to, like just like right now, like we can easily relate on that level. I think the barrier is more probably in terms of age, like in talking to someone who isn't like that. I think it's definitely a little weirder to talk to my grandma, who's like a full-bred Mexican, about colorism than it is to talk about my friend who's the same age as me. And there's different ways to approach it, but essentially, hey, it's getting better. I feel as if like as long as you just got to get comfortable talking about it, and that's easier said than done. I know that's like such a simple thing to say, but I don't know. I think it just starts with you have to just embrace who you are and embrace your background.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 questions.
Okay.
The first being, what do you want to see for the BIPOC community within the theater community? What do you want? What sort of change are you hoping for within the next, we start change. We may not see it, but the next generation will see it. So what do you and your peers look forward to doing, or what do you feel that you're actively doing to create change? And then I'd love to hear about your role in this.
Absolutely. And what's crazy is my role actually plays a part in the change. You know what I mean? It starts with like more opportunities and being more generalized with casting, because I mean, you look at the setting in our town, it's like New Hampshire, Grover's Corners. That's predominantly white. I mean, you think of New Hampshire, like that's gotta, that's just, it is what it is. And so, being casted and also being, among peers who are also, people of color, when you say like, what do you want for, BIPOC people in the community? And I think it starts with, having like these, open-ended, like, castings where, race doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in New Hampshire or, on Mars or whatever, I can play a role as good as, my white colleague here, you know what I mean? So what the Arvada Center is doing with our town, I think, is a good step forward and a good, case study of that. And my role, George, he's a sick dude. I think, I think, that goes back to like, it isn't just like solely about his race, because his entire character is something that I can relate to. You know what I mean? Like, he played baseball. I played baseball. He has a crush on a girl. I've had a crush on a girl. It's just, things like that. It's just, you just have to start acknowledging the humanity in like every art piece that you do. For me as an artist with my roles, and also for like the theater community and what they put on.
So how can people stay updated with you? How can they get tickets to the show? What are the dates? Give us all the details that we need to know.
Arvada Center, our town, February 24th through May 21st. Be there or be square. Simple as that. I'm Teej Morgan. I'll just plug my socials at TEEJ Morgan. I feel as if that's like all I really need to plug. Like, we're gonna let our performance speak for itself. So, hope to see you guys there.
I can't wait. Well, we will certainly be in the house making lots of noise. Danny and I are giving each other eyebrows right now. Absolutely. Can I ask you to do something a little cheesy that I think would be a fun exit?
Okay.
The podcast is called Besos, Jules. I would love if you just said Besos and closed out with me.
Sure.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Besos. Ciao. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you or your company are looking to jump into the podcast world, now is the time. The Plug Agency is here to connect you to the full power of podcasting. You just record and leave the rest to us. The people are listening and want to hear from you. theplug-agency.com. That's theplug-agency.com. Click the link in the episode description for an exclusive offer.